let's kick off. Thank you so much for joining us today for another wonderful episode of our Leading Residence programs. Today we're going to be talking about Greece, Italy, Latvia and Portugal. But first of all, let's just touch on what we're covering. And we are going to, or I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about Henny & Partners. So we advise private clients and governments. Our two streams are very much private client services, which incorporate the residence and citizenship advisory, but not just that. We also have real estate, education, which I'll be talking about later, concierge, and various other areas where we support our private clients. We then have the government advisory services, and here the team work with governments around the world who are wanting to set up a residency or citizenship program, and we guide them in the whole process. So we have successfully, with governments around the world, raised over $15 billion in foreign direct investments so far. Now, as you can see, we are a little bit all over the world now with over 70 offices. We are very much on the ground where our clients are coming from and where they are going to. So there is always somebody to work with clients, whether it's in the area they're living or where they're actually applying for a residency or citizenship program. Now, a little bit about the firm. Henny & Partners has been in existence for more than 25 years now and are global leaders in the sector of residency and citizenship by investment. We've got over 60 investment migration options, but there are usually around 40 that we work with regularly. We've had the pleasure of assisting over 25,000 clients so far and have over 20 government advisory mandates. Now, what is residence by investment? It's a term that was actually coined by Henny & Partners, and it describes the policies of countries that, of course, grant residence to foreign people who make a capital contribution. And there are several countries that have programs that are really very attractive to high net worth individuals, but also there are countries that are looking for skilled workers as well. And these programs that you can see here are designed to help our network of high net worth, ultra high net worth clients make the right choices to build on their portfolio of residencies or citizenships. So the ones we're going to focus on today, of course, are in Europe, but you can see that we have programs in all sorts of parts of all areas of the globe. But today we're going to be starting to talk about Greece. So I'm going to be handing over to Vasia, who's going to give you a lot more information about this very attractive program. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Tess. And hello, everyone from sunny Athens. So yes, the Greek Golden Visa program is one of our most popular residence by investment programs. So I'm happy to talk to you about it today. So a little bit about our country, as you can see on the next slide coming up. We have a population of about 10.5 million. Our economy is mostly based around tourism, as I'm sure if you've been lucky enough to visit Greece, we have very, very busy summers here. We also are very focused on real estate development as well as shipping. Athens is home to the biggest passenger port named Piraeus. So in that area, there are headquarters of many major shipping companies internationally. So next here, we have got the key benefits of the Greek Golden Visa program. Now, if you're doing the real estate route, which is our more popular option, it's a win-win scenario for you as an investor because you do get to rent out your property. If you choose not to relocate here in Greece, which most clients choose not to, they can simply rent out their property and you get passive income while also enjoying the benefits of traveling freely in the Schengen area. In addition, there's no minimum or maximum requirement to stay in Greece. So if your schedule does not allow it, there's no reason to pass by the country if you cannot. And thirdly, you also have access to public and healthcare systems here in Greece. If you have a family with smaller children, there are many English and international schools here, as well as universities for your older children. The one caveat is that there are no working rights granted with the Greek Golden Visa. However, you can open up a company here if you wish, and you would simply receive dividends from being a sole shareholder of your company. So moving on, we'll talk about the investment requirements. Now, there are two pools of investment routes that you can take. So we have the real estate option, and then there are the financial instruments. So the real estate option is our more popular route. About 80% of our clients select this because it does have the most affordable investment threshold of 250,000. So this amount is for a specialized real estate investment in the conversion of commercial properties into residential ones, or a restoration of a listed building. Of course, I'd like to point out that you as an investor do not hold the responsibility to undergo this conversion. Henley & Partners works with many well-trusted and strongly capitalized real estate developers and real estate agencies. And what they have done is they've bought out these vacant office buildings that are mostly located in Athens, and they are now already repurposing them into residential buildings for the Greek Golden Visa purpose. So this is a great opportunity as an investor for someone also that wants a hands-off approach and simply wants to purchase something easy to rent it out as well. If you do have a higher budget, the investment threshold of 800,000 is for properties strictly residential in Athens, Thessaloniki, and also the major islands. And lastly, there's the middle ground of 400,000 euros for properties in all other areas other than the ones mentioned previously. Now, for the financial instruments option, if real estate is not your forte, we do have the term deposit option of 500,000 euros, which you simply place in a Greek domestic bank. Again, Henley & Partners can do this on your behalf as well. There's no physical presence required for this. And in addition, there's the capital contribution of 500,000 euros for approved shares. And also there is the mutual fund option for only 350,000 euros. In either investment route, real estate, or financial instruments, we can do the whole process remotely for you, with the exception that at the very end, you must come to Athens to submit your biometrics. So here's a little bit of an overview of the process if you do decide to proceed with Henley & Partners. So after we've completed our due diligence and our client agreements, a power of attorney must be signed, which will give us and our local attorneys the power to conduct investments for you, to carry out the real estate transactions on your behalf, which is another bonus because it, again, does not require your physical presence. So this can be done while you're, staying in your home country on your own schedule. If you do proceed with the real estate route, we'd be happy to also accompany you in Greece if you'd like and show you properties in person. Or we can do this also via email online as well. Now, the final step, as I had briefly mentioned previously, is biometrics, in which you and your family will have to travel to Greece and submit your fingerprints. And after this submission, about 4 months, latest, I would say, we had some longer processing times last year due to the change in the Golden Visa rules, and we had a deadline, but now the processing times are much quicker. After 4 months, you will receive your Golden Visa card via courier. And lastly, just as an overview, the majority of clients do proceed with the Greek Golden Visa program because of the freedom of travel within Greece and Europe Schengen area. The residence permit, you can hold it for as long as you like, but you just need to renew it every 5 years. So you would just need to return to Greece and update and resubmit your biometrics during that time. And lastly, there is the opportunity to apply for citizenship after 7 years. However, it is a bit of a complicated process because you will have to reside in Greece for 7 years at least, and also prove that you've immersed yourself in the culture and have learned the language. So at this moment, I'll pass it on to my colleague, Alina, to talk about Italy.
Thank you so much, Vasya. Good day, everyone. My pleasure to talk today about Italy and what it has to offer on investment migration side. I would like to start with a brief overview. In 2017, Italian Republic has launched residence by investment program called Italian Visa, designed for non-European investors who committed to making significant contribution to Italian economy. In exchange, qualified individuals are granted Italian residence. A couple of well-known facts. Population of Italy is 61 million. Official language is Italian, while German and French are also widely spoken. Italy represents a country with diversified economy and currency, obviously euro. Let's have a look on key benefits of being a holder of investor visa. You will get an easy access to Schengen area with the choice to relocate to Italy, or if you will not to, you cannot. Residence in a beautiful country with rich culture, attractive industries, and major global cities like Roma, Venezia, and Venezia. You will have as well possibility to benefit from attractive tax regime if you are willing to relocate. You will have access to excellent medical care and educational facilities. Tests will cover later this in detail. And you will have also obviously the right to apply for Italian citizenship after 10 years of actual residence. Let's have a look on the requirements. How one can get Italian investor visa. There are several options there you can choose from. Either to invest 2 million in government bonds issued by Italian Republic, or 500,000 euro in shares of an Italian company that can be listed or not. And in case if an innovative startup, this amount is just double less, that will sum 250,000. Or another option is to proceed with non-refundable donation of 1 million in one of the projects of public interest in Italy. Along with an investor visa for those individuals who actually plan to relocate to Italy and make it their new home, there is another type of program that is available in Italy called elective residence. And the main requirement here is to prove stable passive annual income at a certain quantity from non-Italian sources. The quantity will arrive obviously on the amount of the dependents you are willing to include in your pool. The whole process is quite standardized in handling partners. Of course, we support our clients at each stage of the application journey. Important and very interesting moment of investor visa program is that individuals are asked to proceed with chosen investment only when official approval on the application is successfully granted. And the very last step closing the whole process is investment. No need to proceed with investment prior to approval of your application. The whole process takes around 3 to 4 months, approximately, depending on various conditions. Investor visa is granted first for 2 years and subsequently can be renewed for further 3 years. After 5 years, you can apply for permanent residency, and after 10 years for Italian citizenship. Let's have a look on a short summary of key benefits. Investor visa gives an access to the country with rich culture and diversified economy, excellent medical education facilities. Investment will start only with 250,000 and only due after approval of your application. The whole process can be handled within 2 to 4 months, depending on various conditions, and you will have a possibility to apply for citizenship after 10 years. Ethereum Parspot is ranked number 3 by Henley Parspot Index, allowing to enjoy visa-free access to approximately 190 destinations. And this is what I briefly wanted to share you. If you will have any questions, please feel free to contact me on or our team, and we will be helpful for your further inquiries. Thank you so much, and allow me to hand over to my colleague, who will be talking about Latvia.
Thank you, Elena, and good evening from Riga, Latvia. I'm delighted today present Latvia Temporary Residence Program, which become more and more popular during last few years. So first of all, I'll speak a little bit about country because it's not only the smallest among the presented today, but also less known. So Latvia is one of the 3 Baltic states near the Baltic Sea, and it's located in the northeast part of Europe. We are European Union, European Council, and NATO member state since 2004. Our official currency is euro. Interesting fact to mention is that Riga is one of the oldest medieval cities in the Europe. But what would be more interesting to you is that we have one of the greenest areas in Europe, and it also comes together with the fact that we have very low crime rates comparing to other European Union countries. Also, the busiest airport in region is based in Riga. We have more than 140 direct flights, and normally you can reach any of European Union big cities in 2 to 3 hours flight. So it's also an advantage. About the program, it was established in 2012, and it was really popular in the first few years. And now we can see some renaissance of the program because during the last few years, Henley & Partners observed that we have more and more clients from various regions and continents. It's popular among United States citizens, South Africa, India, Pakistan, Cameroon, United Kingdom, and more countries. So, as a resident of Latvia, you can enjoy freedom of travel among European Union states. So you can spend up to 180 days per year in any of European Union countries. Of course, you can live, work, doing business and study in Latvia for a limited amount of time. One of the benefits of the program is this, it's not, it does not require your presence, but still once a year you need to enter country to register your resident card. We also have fast track application procedure for this program. In average, it takes up around 6 months from the very beginning to the end of process. Latvia, Russian and English and also German language are pretty widely spoken here. We also have quite attractive tax system, especially when we speak about corporate taxes. So probably you will be interested to do business here as well. And the road to citizenship takes around 10 years. First of all, you need to apply for temporary residence. When you spend 4 years in Latvia, you can apply for permanent residency. And after holding permanent residency for 4 years and living in the country, you can also apply for citizenship of Latvia. And who can be included in the application? In the same application, it's main applicant, spouse, and children up to 18 years old. There are 2 popular investment routes for Latvia temporary residents. More demanded and popular currently is investment into the equity capital of Latvian company, and you need to invest only 50,000 euros and additionally pay 10,000 euros to the state. As government have some requirements for such companies, like turnover cap and number of employees. You cannot simply buy stock of some big companies on a share market, on the stock market, but you need to invest directly to small, medium companies. And the Hellenian Partners know-how is that we are offering all the service at one stop. We identify, identify, and offer you companies where you can invest. And of course, we also provide the whole service for your residency permit. Another option is investment into a real estate, and the minimum investment amount is 250,000 euros. And for such a price, you can get two-bedroom apartment in a newly built or renewed buildings in Riga. And what is good is that only completed projects are valid for Latvia residency program. And this means that you can get profit from your investment on the next day after you purchased it by renting it out. And here you can see the process of Latvia residence program. And one thing I want to pay your attention is that power of attorneys actually does not work for Latvia program when it comes to submitting application and also collecting the residency cards. So when you apply for a residency, there are two options. You can visit Latvia and apply here locally. Or as an alternative, you can apply at Latvian embassy in your homeland. And when the application is approved and you need to collect your residency cards, you and your family need to come to Latvia to be in person to collect your cards. The residency is granted for 5 years, but the residency cards are granted for 1 year. And that's the reason you need to enter country once a year to collect your new residency cards. And every 5 years, you can prolong your temporary residency simply by paying 5,000 euros to the state and keeping your investment valid. So to summarize Latvia residency program, I would like to say that affordability, fast process, and freedom of travel is 3 things which characterize this program. And I think when you come to a decision to obtain residency in the European Union, Latvia should be on a short list to consider. And now I would like to pass the word to Emi Silva, and she will present the Portugal program.
Great, thank you, Niels. Boa tarde, good day from still sunny Portugal. It is a real pleasure to be speaking to you about Portugal and the Portugal Golden Residence Permit Program, also known as the Golden Visa. Also to tell you, it's a temporary visa. So Portugal is one of Europe's most welcoming destinations, ranked among the top 10 safest countries in the world. The Portugal Golden Visa is a residency by investment program that was launched in 2012 that allows all non-EU citizens to obtain a Portuguese residence permit, again, a temporary permit, in exchange for qualifying investment. It has been operating for more than a decade, offering families a chance to live, work, study in a country celebrated for its culture, lifestyle, and quality of life. It's also considered one of the most successful residence programs in Europe, having attracted thousands of investors since it was created. With just over 10 million people, Portugal is small, yet highly international. English is widely spoken. Everyone speaks English. And the economy blends tradition with innovation. As part of the Eurozone, it also offers both stability and opportunity. So, like the other European programs that my colleagues have discussed with you, the Golden Visa also allows visa-free access to the Schengen visa. Acts exactly the same as a Schengen visa. You are today eligible to apply for citizenship after 5 years of residence. And the big advantage here as well is the low physical presence. You only need to spend 7 days a year or 14 days in 2 years. The first card will be valid for 2 years, so you need to spend 14 days. It allows family reunification, so you can include your civil partners, same gender partners, children, parents, and parents-in-law, as long as they are over the age of 65. For children, they need to be single, studying, and financially dependent on you as the investor. We have excellent international and Portuguese schools and universities. Tess will touch on that, but I can tell you that we have clients today living in Portugal with children in Portuguese schools, in international schools, doing a bachelor degree in university, and even a master's degree. So all in English, so they don't need to learn Portuguese. They don't need, it doesn't have to be all in Portuguese, which is great. And then again, we've got high quality of life, we like local cuisine, very good food, wines, rich culture, a very mild climate, and then a very high level of security. The requirements. You've got actually 5 different investment options that you can choose from. The real estate ended in 2023. So today, the most popular investment option is the 500,000 into an investment fund. There's, private equities, open-ended funds. There's a wide range of funds that are eligible for the program, and our team will help you with what is available and what qualifies for the program. Then you've got 500,000 in National Scientific and Technology, but that's a donation, so it's not very popular. And the other one is 250 into our artistic production and heritage. That is sometimes an option our clients choose, but it's again a donation, so you don't see that money anymore. If you choose these 2 last options in a low density area, so you go out of the city center, the threshold will be reduced 20%. So instead of the 500 in National Scientific Technology, you'll be paying 400,000, and the donation, instead of 250, it's only 200,000. So the other 2 options are the business options. To be honest with you, they're not popular because Portugal is still a bureaucratic country. And if you don't live here, it's not very easy to do everything remotely. So it's, of course, the creation of 10 jobs, or you inject 500,000 euros into a company that already exists in Portugal. The process is very similar. The onboarding process for all our Henley and Partners clients is very much the same. The difference between some of the programs that we've discussed today is actually for Portugal, you have to do the investment first, and then we can submit your application to the government. So you need to, of course, open a bank account. We need to get your Portuguese taxpayer number that Henley and Partners will do for you. And then you choose the investment option that you want. And we've got a program options team that will help you with that. And then, of course, setting up your personal documents. And as you've seen, we've got 70 offices worldwide, and we've got clients residing in one place, and the kids are studying in another place, and we're married in another country. So we're here to help you in the 70 countries with the documents that you will need to submit to the government. Then you wait for the acceptance or to be called for biometrics. You actually have to visit Portugal for that. They take your fingerprints, your photograph, and your signature, and then it's waiting again to be approved. So the first card will be valid for 2 years, and the subsequent cards for 3 years. So you have to spend 7 days a year or 14 days in 2 years. After 5 years of residence, you can apply for permanent residence, and today you can apply for citizenship. And just a quick overview, the minimum contribution is 250,000 euros, but again, it's a donation. So the most popular one is the investment fund of 500,000. And then our passport index, we top 5, and it will give you 190 destinations, travel free. And then the eligibility for citizenship today after 5 years. And the low physical presence is a big one for us as well. And same gender partners is also big. We have many families that are same gender partners. And from the very beginning, it's always been accepted and approved. And again, to tell you that we have 100% success rate in Portugal, because we make sure that when we submit your application, it's fully compliant with the rules and regulation that the government needs. And that's all from beautiful Portugal. Over to you, Tess.
Thank you very much, Emmy. Yes, so just to wrap up this webinar, we're going to be touching on the education that is available in these countries, because Europe, we're seeing more and more clients that we are working with choose Europe as a destination. Before I carry on, I completely forgot at the beginning. If you have any questions, please put them in the Q&A and we'll answer them at the end. Going back, so we're seeing more and more people looking at Europe, and we've been assisting families who are working with Henley on the residency programs that we're talking about today. And it's becoming more and more popular because the traditional sort of top hotspots for education, like the US and Canada, etc., are proving to be more complex, less certain, and various things that pushed students to go elsewhere. And so if you're here because you're considering one of these programs, and if you do have children, you've got some very strong options, both for schools and universities. Portugal, for instance, has a very complete and range of schools that cover the curriculum that you can expect from American schools, British schools, IB schools, and they are mainly focused around Lisbon area, Porto, and then in the Algarve. But they also have some fantastic universities here, as Emmy was saying, and they are climbing the rankings. So they are particularly, the English taught degrees that we are assisting students with a lot. We see business, economics, engineering, and those type of degrees, international relations as well. Then when we look at Italy, Italy is, as we all know, has got a very old history and has some fantastic architecture. And so it's no surprise that it also has some of the most prestigious and old universities, and the architecture, art, fashion, history, design are very popular, as well as engineering and medicine. And interestingly enough, it's expanding its post-study work pathways in fields such as AI and sustainability. So Italy for universities, but also for schools, absolutely fantastic international schools in Rome, Florence, Milan, etc. So there really is a choice depending on where you choose to live. And if we look at Greece again, as all the European countries do have our very strong education roots in the schools, but of course they have a particular program, an initiative running at the moment called Study in Greece, which coordinates national strategy and is promoting English taught programs. So that's becoming popular, and we're seeing more and more English taught programs, and therefore more and more foreign students coming into the country for that. And lastly, Latvia it's incredible, the amount of families that we're now talking to about Latvia and the education there. Again, the schools, some great schools, and they're particularly well known. The universities are particularly well known for medicine. And we have a lot of clients whose children want to study medicine in Latvia. So it's a very positive landscape for parents who are obviously always, if they are relocating, schools essential, or if they're sending their children abroad with the idea of them gaining citizenship potentially so they can benefit from the EU movement, work, etc. when the children leave university, it's a really, really strong offer. And just to touch on emerging destinations, it's very interesting. I was saying earlier that less and less, or there is a drop in numbers, let's put it that way, going towards the traditional destinations. And we're seeing a real rise in demand for Singapore, the UAE, South Korea, and Japan. So it's a moving landscape, an interesting one. So if we just go back into the European choice, so this is very much Europe for residency, but also Europe for education. And the diversity, I'm British, and I was lucky enough to live in France for a very long time, so I know Europe very well, and it is an incredibly diverse place, and it offers huge amount of opportunity. And so the academic, cultural, everything that you can experience is very, very powerful. And now, because of the rise in the number of English taught programs at university, that is really breaking down barriers. So there are more and more institutions that offer IB, AP, and the university programs that we were talking about. Very importantly, it's also very competitive with regards to pricing. The countries, you know, the fees in Europe vary from nothing in some countries to potentially around 30,000, depending on the program you're studying, but significantly less than if you were to be an international student and study in Canada or in the US. So it's very, very competitive. And of course, because you can combine with Henley & Partners both education and residency, you can therefore put in place a program and a plan for your children to either have residency or citizenship before they start school or university. And then, of course, on graduation, they can access the work and opportunities at becoming a resident or citizen office. And I think everyone has said how safe and family friendly the countries that we're talking about are today. So it's well worth considering. And I'm going to just put up a very short overview of us. I head up the education team, and our core business really is to work with Henley's clients who are interested in doing residency or citizenship, and they are wanting expert, global, impartial guidance with regards to finding the best school or university for their child. We are a global team, and we cover the North America, Europe, UK, Singapore, UAE, Australia, New Zealand. And so we can really assist families all over the world. We're also standalone, so we don't just work with families who are doing the residency programs. But we're data-driven in the fact that we use our assessment, the HAPA that you can see here, the Henley Academic Profiling Assessment, and that allows us to benchmark students against international students. So when we're looking for the right school or university for them, we ensure that we have all the information necessary to do that accurately. And then we offer a big range of additional services. But the core part of our work is working with children from kindergarten age all the way up to postgrad to give them the best possible advice and guidance every step of the way towards finding them the best universities or schools possible. And what makes us slightly different, if my computer will work, there we go. There are a couple of things I would say. Our impartiality I'll pick up on, because we have no financial partnerships with any schools or universities, so we're completely commission free. Our focus, as we're all educators, our focus is completely on finding the right fit of the school for the child and the family that we're working with. It's also because we spend so much time working on this, we have a 100% success rate, ensuring that students get in to one of the schools or universities that we have advised them on. So we're also in a very specific, very unique space of being able to, because we are Henley, we have education as part of our private client advisory, it does allow us to provide seamless wraparound service for parents and students who are looking at this. And I'm going to finish on a photograph of our lovely team. You can see who are based all over the world and who have all come from an education background, whether it's head teachers, directors of admissions, college counsellors, etc. We know children very well. So I'm going to end on that, and I think we're going to go to questions and answers. Now, I'm going to start with a question here. I'm not sure this can be answered by any of you from what I can see. So is a 180-day Schengen residency restriction waived when residency by investment is granted by any of the programs discussed?
So as for Greece, and then we can also move on to the other countries. So the 90/100 day, so 90 days in every 180 days still applies for the Greek Golden Visa program. However, keep in mind that the time that you spend in Greece does not count towards that 90 days. If you're outside of Greece in other countries of Europe, it does count towards that 180-day rule.
Yes, and I can confirm that for Portugal as well, exactly the same. So 90 days, 180. But if you want to be in Portugal, you can live here, you can work here, and your children can study in Portugal, and 365 days a year. So it's exactly the same as Greece.
The same I can confirm for Italy, unless you want to move your residency to Italy and become tax resident.
Yeah, and it's same for Latvia as well.
Great. Another question. Thank you, everyone. Another question. Do any of these countries offer tax deals? Who can answer, or would anyone like to take that?
We had a webinar last week on tax, and I'm sure you can find it, or we can send it to you. So if you want to send us an email, there was a webinar on tax and on all these European programs, and they actually discussed that. For Portugal, there is special tax regimes, but we are not, tax advisors. So it would be best that we answer that in writing. I think that would be the best.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Another question, Vasia, this is for you. Did I understand well, with the Greek program, I don't have to actually reside there, while in Italy I do. So it's actually Vasia and Alina.
Yes, so Greek program, no need to reside in Greece.
For Italy, it depends what you opt for. In case of Italian investor visa, you can decide whether you will either become a tax resident or you just enjoy visa-free access to the Schengen area. In case of elective residents, of course, you're obliged to leave and make Greece your primary home.
Okay, super. Now, there is one question, but it doesn't say which government we're talking about. The question is, maybe we can answer this for all 4 programs. What are approximate government fees throughout the process?
So again, it does vary by country, I'm sure. In terms of Greece, there are stamp duties to be paid at the very end before submission, which is 2,000 euros for the main applicant, and then 150 euros for each family member who's applying with you. Other government-related fees would be the transfer tax for the real estate purchase. It's just 3.09% of the real estate purchase price.
And for Portugal, government analysis fees, a little bit over 600 euros when we submit your application to the government. Once you're actually approved, you pay for the card, the physical residence card, and that's a little bit over 6,000 euros. And the renewals are 50% less, so a little over 3,000 euros. But it does go up every year.
For Italy, we actually don't have any government fees except payment for residence cards. It's approximately 150 for one card, and in case you apply for elective residence program, then there will be some consular fee due.
As for Latvia, the main fee is 10,000 euros to the state if you choose a company investment route. And if you choose real estate investment route, then the state fee will be 5% of the real estate purchase price. So if we presume that the minimum amount of purchase is 250, so the minimal state fee in this case will be 12,500 euros. Also, there are very minor fees for resident card and such things. It will not exceed a few hundred euros per application.
Perfect. Thank you. So that's it for the questions. So before we say thank you and goodbye, please take down any contact details. Here we have Nils, myself and Emmy, and on the following page, Elena and Vasya. So please don't hesitate to take them down as if there, oh, there is one more question. I was going to say, if there are any other questions, don't hesitate. The last question is actually for you, Nils. Is the Latvia program absolutely residence free with the exception of annual visits? And what is the cost for getting the permanent card in Latvia?
You're on mute.
Yeah, I think you're on mute. We can't hear you.
Yeah, so the only requirement regarding staying in Latvia is that once a year you need to enter the country to collect your renewed residency card. So there are no requirements to stay. And the second part of the question, for getting permanent residency. For permanent residency, you need to spend 4 years in Latvia. So you need to prove that you have spent 4 years in a country, and then you apply for a permanent residency. And there are no any big payments or anything regarding permanent residency.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Thanks, Nils. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for attending. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. But may I just say thank you and have a good evening, morning, day, wherever you are. Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Goodbye.